South Toe River. Hey everyone, it is Sunday, May the 5th, around noon, and this is my second week in a row hiking in the Black Mountains of North Carolina for my quest to finish the Black Mountains Hiking Challenge in this calendar year. It's been pretty crappy weather for the past few days with a lot of rain in the mountains, and there was even rain this morning. So I did a couple warm-up hikes to short waterfalls in the area, including Tom's Creek Falls and Grassy Creek Falls, which I'll put in separate videos. But my main hike of the day is to knock out 4 of the trails around the Black Mountain Campground along the South Toe River, which sits below the east side of Mount Mitchell. I haven't done any of these 4 trails to their completeness in the past, unlike most of the other trails for the hiking challenge. So a lot of this will be new to me today. So I'm excited to see what kind of views I can get of the South Toe River at various points of these loops, and also get to see Setrock Creek Falls with a lot of water. Currently I'm on the Lower River Loop Trail, crossing the bridge over the South Toe River behind me, and in that direction of course. And then I'll come up towards the Black Mountain Campground and take the Devil's Den Nature Trail, and from there I'll continue on the River Loop Trail and do a quick out and back to Setrock Creek Falls, and then do the entire River Loop Trail, which is the longest of the 4 trails around the campground at over 3 miles, and then finish up doing the other half of the Lower River Loop Trail and Devil's Den Nature Trail before I get back to the parking lot. There's not a lot of elevation gain on this hike, even though the mileage will be between 7 and 7.5 miles, so this probably would be a great option for kids or people who don't want to hike the big miles, tough miles, along the other trails from the campground, including the Green Knob Trail, the Mountains of Sea Trail, and the Mount Mitchell Trail. So I hope you enjoy this hike with a lot of water and few views. I haven't had too many opportunities to get out in the river like this because the water level is much higher than normal, so it's washing over a lot of those exposed rock pebble beaches that you'll find along the South Toe River. But this is a really nice spot just before the other bridge crossing at the other end of the Lower Loop Trail. So I should be coming up on the Devil's Den Nature Trail pretty soon. Not much to see on the Devil's Den Nature Trail, but you can tell that spring is recently here. Last weekend at the high elevations near the crest, all of the grasses and shrubs were still brown, and usually those are the first to pop green. I imagine these ferns are pretty new, sprouting the last couple of weeks. So far, both of these trails have passed through beautiful green understory and also some impressive groves of yellow poplar. Not the biggest old growth I've seen in this area. These are probably second growth hardwoods. The best I saw last year were hidden in the Middle Creek watershed, but so far the trees have been nice. Setrock Creek Falls, a multi-level slide of around 70 feet high. A lot more water than you'll typically see on this small creek. And unfortunately, there is a sizable tree fallen across the base. That's a shame. That's a pretty big tree to remove. I'm gonna get a closer look anyways. Finished with half of the River Loop Trail, crossing a road bridge over the South Toe River and heading back towards the campground. The view from this bridge upstream is just beautiful. That's an incredible view of the river. Before I finish the hike, I should show you the map. I have two for this area, the National Geographic Linville Gorge Mount Mitchell map. That's not going to really help you for this area because it's a tight weave of trails around the campground and you're not going to get any detail from that scale of 1 in 75,000. There is a Mount Mitchell State Park map by Pisgah Map Company that includes the trails in the national forests of the surrounding area, and that would be a really good bet if you haven't bought any maps for this yet. I really like that map, but I'm not paying any extra for it because I already have stuff that covers this area. So the map I'm carrying and not really using because this trail is pretty easy to follow is the National Forest Service South Toe River, Mount Mitchell, Big Ivy map, 1 in 24,000 scale. This is the Black Mountain Campground area that I'm in, and you can see there's a lot of roads and trails in that vicinity. And actually where I parked is close to this Lost Cove picnic area, a little bit south of that, and you can't see the trail at all, but there's actually this little zoom of the campground. And the lower loop trail is a pretty new trail, so it's not actually on this map. So I started somewhere up here and then did the Devil's Den Trail and then hiked the Briar Bottom Bike Trail, which is also the River Loop Trail. Did the short out and back to Setrock Creek Falls and followed the River Loop Trail, and I'm somewhere down here off the map. And then I'm going to return, connect with the Green Knob Trail, and go back to the parking lot, cross the river, return on the lower loop trail to my car. You can see right here is where I'm at, crossing the river. The River Loop Trail on the east side of the South Toe River Road has been more interesting than I expected. It's following this slope a few hundred feet above the river. It sounds really close, but there's just a lot of water and rapids making it louder than you'd normally expect. But over the shrubs, getting views of the Black Mountain crest about 3,000 feet above. The tippy top is covered in clouds still, but I'm looking up at either the Camp Creek or Lower Creek watershed. Both lead down from Mount Mitchell. So Mount Mitchell is way up there in the clouds. And the Black Mountains on both the east and west side are just full of these incredibly remote and wild creek drainages that are full of waterfalls. And I have some friends that have been exploring these recently, the past couple of years, but I am not sure if they've explored anything up here. It looks very promising in terms of how much it drops, but just incredibly wild country up here. deep in the South Toe River headwaters. Found a nice orange newt or salamander. Pretty sure it's a newt. Crossing the second bridge of the Lower River Loop Trail. Almost finished. Beautiful view downstream. I love the South Toe River. I am finished for the day. The parking lot is just behind you. It's around 3:30 p.m., which means I've been hiking about 3.5 hours with a couple stops. And in total, I think the hike will be about 7 miles, but I'm not sure because I tracked some shorter hikes earlier, so I can't check my GPS to verify that. I took it very leisurely. It was a nice day, seeing spots on the river, checking out the waterfall, and I don't feel tired at all. Normally I punish myself. I hike for 7-8 hours into the evening. My feet and knees are aching by the end of the day, but right now I feel like I can go for another few miles in a few hours. So that's a good change of pace. You know, every once in a while you need to slow it down and enjoy the scenery. And even though it's a Sunday in May, I didn't really see anyone out on the trails today except for around the campground itself. Now that's probably because of the weather, and most people, when they come to the Black Mountain Campground, they're either front country camping or they're hiking up to Green Knob and Mount Mitchell. And with these clouds and this rain, it's just a terrible day to do that. So I kind of had the river trails all to myself. And if you have kids or you want something leisurely, you want to hang out in the water in the summer, I definitely recommend doing the Lower River Loop and Setrock Creek Falls. The Upper River Loop, once it went past the Briar Bottom Campground, it kind of stayed away from the river for the rest of the trail, which was kind of disappointing. So the Lower River Loop is a lot better option if you want to be intimate with the South Toe River. So after this, that means that I'm about 50% of the way through the trails of the Black Mountains Challenge and about 40% of the trail miles. And everything from here on out is going to be much more difficult because I want to string together some of these trails to do 4 or 5 big hikes and just get it done with. You know, if I break them up, it's just going to take me a lot more driving, a lot more time, and I'd rather just do 10 to 15 mile days. And if I do that and I've planned all of these hikes out, I can finish it in about 5 more hikes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the South Toe River and Setrock Creek Falls, and I'll see you guys next time, probably in the Black Mountains.